Hi, and welcome back to The Positive Side with Larry Sharon. I'm Larry Rifkin, sitting beside me, my creative partner, Sharon Pannoni. And we wanted to talk to you today about a couple of things. We had a few people contact us about something we spoke about one of our previous shows, which is finding out exactly what we want. And they were looking for a little bit of more in-depth instructions on how they can figure it out. So we thought today we would sit down between Sharon and I and go through the process with you on how to do this and how to come up with what we do desire.
Yeah, because we recognize that this is not a normal thing for us. We just kind of go through life unconsciously, and this is actually becoming conscious on what we want, and it doesn't just happen overnight.
And I will tell you that this is not something that you do once and you're done with. I'm pretty far along my path, and I find that I have to come back to all these steps, but this step in particular, every couple of weeks, and reevaluate what it is that I want, what it is that I want now, because I'm a different person now than I was last year at this time.
I think when you first started, I agree with you. When you first started, it feels uncomfortable. It really does. It feels uncomfortable, and
this is two life coaches saying this.
Yeah. Well, because we've been down, we've taken this path, and we've been on this journey for a while, and we've been where you are, which is starting it for the first time, and it's very uncomfortable at first. And what I've discovered for myself is at the very beginning, because I save all mine, at the very beginning, my outlook, my vision was very short-sighted. So many people that use this process tell you at the beginning to repeat it and repeat it, just as Larry said, every couple of weeks. As you grow into it, there are many spiritual teachers that say that they do it every 6 months. John Asheroff, Bob Proctor,
Larry Rifkin,
myself, Janet Atwood, Marcy Shimoff. There's a lot of people out there who use this process. Jack Canfield, he's a great example of this. This is a man who wrote the Chicken Soup series. And the story behind that book is amazing, because his dream was shot down so many times, and he never lost his vision on it. And then when it got picked up, if you haven't read one of these books, you've heard of it. It's a great book anyway, so if you haven't picked one up, get one for yourself or gift it to somebody else. But here's a man who had his dream, who lived where he wanted to, who was in a financial space where he was very comfortable. And when he went through this process, when somebody taught him about that was before he learned this process. And once he learned this process, he went through it, and he actually created a group of spiritual leaders based on this process that he didn't have before. So it's a good process to use, and it changes because we keep changing. Thank God.
Absolutely. And it works as a calibration on where we are and where we want to go. It acts as part of a roadmap to having the life that we desire. And again, and we repeat this because this is the state of mind that we come from. And one of the things that we always want to do is find out what it is we're going after in life. And to do this process, I thought Sharon and I would go through it, and please join in. Take a piece of paper and a pencil, and we'll work through this process. And this process is identifying our desires. For me, the first thing that I do is make sure that Sharon or whoever I'm talking to is in a relaxed state, in a state of allowing, and in a state of being able to think with clarity. And then I say, Sharon, what is it that you want? Tell me.
And we ask that you write it down. So with what Larry's saying, I need to put my glasses on, which is what I don't want.
Write it down.
So what do I really want? The first line is very important as well. For myself, what I wrote down today is, what do I want? The world is my oyster. So coming from a place of, if I want anything, and if anything was possible, if I didn't have to worry about money, what would I want? And what don't I want? So most of us, again, as we spoke about in a previous video, is many of us recognize what we don't want. So that is where I started today. So I'll read over a few of the things that I wrote down. And
let's take them one at a time.
Okay.
Let's take them one at a time.
So the first place that I put myself in is, what do I want? The world is my oyster. It's easier for me to start with what I don't want, which is a place that most of us start. So that's how I wrote them down. I don't want to let go of my dreams.
Why?
Because they have meaning for me.
So then, let's turn that around. What is it that you do want?
I want to live my life and actualize my dreams.
That's fantastic, and that's coming from a positive place. Now, what I would like you to do is, on a separate piece of paper, we're going to start a list of what you do want. So, write down exactly what you just said. And we are now starting from a positive perspective on what we do want.
Okay,
so state that again.
My dreams have meaning. And I want to live my life where they are actualized. In other words, what I'm saying is, I want to live the life of my dreams. I want them to be my reality.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. What you did is, we went from this broad concept of what you don't want, turned it into a broad concept of what you do want, and then boiled it down to those 6 words that you just said. That was excellent. And
this is a great place to start. And as we spoke about doing it every couple of weeks, I know that if I focus on this positive part of it, that I can get clearer and clearer on actually what those dreams are. So now I'll go into the second one. I don't want to feel unhealthy.
Why? And what is it that you do want?
I don't want to feel unhealthy because I feel I have a lot to do. I feel that my life is important, and there are many, many things that I want to accomplish while I'm here. And for me, when I picture being unhealthy, I picture not having enough energy, feeling down. I know for myself that when I'm not feeling healthy, I can lean towards almost depression, not feeling joy, not feeling fulfilled. So what I do want is, so I'm going to write this on the second page here. I want to feel energized. Each day, and stay in a positive space, a positive, joyful space. No, joy-filled. I like joy-filled space.
That's very good. And I like how you got there. I will tell you that when we go through this process, we want to be as specific as possible. When I deal with a lot of my clients and they talk about, and we're dealing with health issues, health is this big umbrella. And it can encompass anything from our eyesight to our hearing to feeling lethargic, feeling low energy. And I was a little concerned when we started this because you spoke about, I don't want to feel unhealthy, of where we were going with that, what issues are challenging us there. But you did, when you converted what you don't want to what you do want, you narrowed it down to, I don't want to feel a lack of energy. I don't want to, and this is good because this is specific to you.
Right, which is very, very important. And
Very important.
The other thing that you just keyed in on that I want people to know is, if you see my sentences are just one short sentence, we're not talking about writing a big paragraph here. You want to, do a short little sentence. Because again, you will be more specific that way.
You want to be specific, and that's one of the ways that we can get to being specific, because if you keep it in these large generalities, you're not addressing any specific issues or any specific challenges, and we do want to. So we've gone through 2 already, and we started from what you don't want, which is what you recognized, and from that we were able to use that as a tool to decipher exactly what it is that you do want.
So now with what I don't want, for myself, what I usually do is put a line through what I don't want and get rid of it. You actually have a
I'll wait until the last one that you do because of what I do.
Yeah, I think we're going to do just these 2 for now, because I think that explains it, and then let us know how you would carry on, because then I want to touch on something else real quick too.
The perspective that I come from and what works for me, and I can only talk about what works for me, is I believe, because I'm such an avid believer in the law of attraction and knowing our thoughts become our reality. So I try to keep everything positive, and a lot of my clients, I would say probably the majority of my clients, start this exact way with, when we try to figure out what they want, they don't know, so they start with what they don't want. So we took what we don't want, we converted it into another piece of paper of what we do want. The next thing that I will do is, because I don't want any negatives, I don't want to see the words I don't want. I don't want any of that. So what I tell my clients to do at this point is take the first piece of paper that we used, which we wrote down what we don't want on it, and we just use that as a tool to figure out what we do want. Now we've accomplished that. So now we'll take that piece of paper with the negatives on it and what I don't want, and we'll crumble it up, we'll tear it up, and we'll throw it away. This symbolizes the fact of taking the negatives and discarding them and putting them away, and now we can focus on the positive. And that's how we got to what we do want. So now we have identified what we do want in your life, and now we can work forward going towards that.
And I usually use a similar process. It's just replacing it. So the whole thing here that we're talking about, let alone writing them down, it's also what we're thinking about. It's replacing our negative thoughts, our negative ideas with positive ones. This, where I'm at right now, is just the beginning. So if you've gotten to this step, it's a very important step. However, it's not your last step. I can go deeper on this. And again, what we talk about is clarity. Clarity is very important. So don't just get here and drop it. Keep going. Keep pulling back those layers of the onion, like we spoke about before, to get really, really clear and get really, really defined. And we hope that this helps you to create your list. It's important to us that what we're sharing with you has an impact on you. So please comment. Please let us know again how you're feeling. That's why we're doing the second video, is because many of you commented and wanted a little bit more detail. And this is what we do. This is what we gift to you, and we want to hear from you. And we very much appreciate you.
We want your input. Now we have a place to go forward from. So we took the negatives, and now there's always a positive. So once again, I will tell you,
there's always a positive side.
See you later. Have a great
Bye.